Okay, the increased volume of air at the high pressure end of the compressor makes it difficult for it to pass through the space available. So it slows down and in some cases can cause choking and turbulence. Okay, so when we suck in the volume too much, okay, volume sucked in is so much, it's the compressor is not even doing its job. So what we'll have is we have having all these things are put together. Okay, the compressor is standing still. So what will it do? It will block the air. It will not allow the air. And when the air is blocked, we have a high increase in pressure overall, and the velocity drops. So we're not moving anything forward. The engine heats up, or the compression chamber heats up, and we have a boom like this. Okay. The reduction in axial velocity happens throughout the compressor and can cause a phenomena called stall. If which is not checked, it can progressively worsen the produced to surge. A stall is a part in an engine. So we can have a compressor stall, okay? But when the engine itself starts to break apart because of one of the factors, one of the three not working, then we can have is something surge. We'll discuss this also. What are the reasons for the stall? As we know that blades also have an angle of attack. They are also shaped like that, right? So they can also have an angle of attack. So if the angle of attack of a compressor blade uh, is the result of the axial velocity the air passing through it and the rotational speed of the blade. So if the angle of attack again exceeds, like this example, you can see the airflow itself is distorted. So we will not be able to even achieve any values. So all this air is stuck here. When the air is stuck here, there is no passing through. And again, we have something called stall. Please, guys, don't confuse yourself with the stall of the aerodynamics. This is the stall of the engine we're talking about. Now, compressor stall can occur through various causes, some of which are as follows. Excessive fuel flow caused by abrupt engine acceleration, as we saw in the previous video. Abrupt engine acceleration took place. The axial velocity is reduced by increasing the combustion chamber back pressure. Back pressure is simply, if I explain you, okay, three components which are involved: turbine, combustion, and compressor. Okay, when airflow is directly introduced here, pressure increases here. So this is high pressure area. Okay, but because air is blocked here only, air does not go through, we have a restriction. Okay, restriction here. So here overall the pressure increasing more because it is getting heated up. Remember, it is getting heated up really high. So what happens is we always know things go from higher pressure to low pressure. So comparatively, airflow will try to go this, and this is known as back pressure. We'll see this also. Okay, this is known as back pressure. Engine operation above or below the engine design RPM parameters increases or decreases the rotational speed of the compressor blade. Suppose the engine operations are telling us, or manual gives us the answer that we should operate within some area, but we are doing it less than or more than, then what will happen is compressor velocity or the compressor velocity, angular velocity will reduce. When that reduces, that will cause again something stop. Or we have this example also, distorted airflow directly introduced. Okay, if you keep on increasing the aircraft's angle of attack, what will happen is this thing can result. If in an aircraft and we keep on increasing the angle of attack, but this is instantly. Okay, remember this is instantly. We're not talking about it once slowly and slowly. This is instantly. We can also have compressor damaged. Okay, suppose that this aircraft is landing. Of course, this aircraft is designed to land in such areas where desert and all. So sand particles can go inside this type of engine, and it will be designed in such a way. But normally, our airlines in commercial aircrafts not designed in such a way that they can absorb these things. Okay, so contaminated, damaged compressor components can also lead to such things. Okay, not just the compressor, turbine also. In the turbine section also we can have this. Again, we have another answer. So if we lean the mixture more, We know that in turbine engines, we do not have the power to lean the engines, but there is something called automatic or FADEC. Okay, that is installed in most of the engines these days. That is linked with your engines, jet engines. If what will happen is somehow if the mixture goes too lean, okay, we can have this because again, if the engine goes too lean, what will happen is combustion chamber may will having high pressures or high temperatures, leading to again something called as stall. The indications of a compressor stall are simply that an increase in the vibration level of the engine or in the increase in EGT. EGT is what? Exhaust gas temperature. Now, why will the
Compressor stall is recoverable?
yes, if we get the right indications, these are the indications. Okay, if the pilot gets these indication and he or she acts at the moment, then they are okay, they are. But if they ignore, then we have something called surge. Then the engine is gone out of the hands. Then we are wasting our $1 million. So as I'm talking about, yeah, I just underline these things. Okay, if you have in the notes, highlight them because this is the direct question. What are the indications of compressed stall? Engine vibrations or increase in vibration level, and an increase in the EGT, both of them. Now we have the surge. What is surge? It's the progressive deterioration of the situation of the stall, which will eventually cause a complete breakdown of the airflow and an engine stop. In several cases, that would cause an instantaneous reversal of the gases in the engine, with air being expelled through the engine intake with a loud bang. As I told you in the previous example, yeah, that's the same thing which happened here. If surge does occur, the throttle of the affected engine must be closed slowly. If not, then engine will go into a boom. This situation is most commonly caused by fuel system malfunction and mishandling. As I told you, fuel system or your automatic fuel system, whichever it is, if that is malfunctioning or mishandled, then we can have high lean mixtures and again stall, then again surge. Apart from loud noise, the usually companies a surge, there is a large rise in the EGT, again exhaust gas temperatures, and the result of lost thrust. An aircraft can also yaw. You can see here we kind of had something like that. Okay, the airflow is being expelled outwards. But this is a case of reverse thrusters also. In C90, we have a reverse thruster. So the aircraft is in a back gear, you can say. Okay, but this is an example you can have in this. Okay, when you're having a complete surge of an engine, it will behave in this way. So the aircraft is taxiing backwards. It'll feel like that. All right. Note, surge is a complete breakdown of airflow through the engine, which in the worst scenario can cause the airflow through the engine to instantaneously reverse its flow of direction, which is shown in this video. Prevention of stall and surge. How do we prevent this? Now we know what is the problem. Let's see what is the solution. We have variable inlet guide vanes, one of the best things we can have. I'll explain you one by one. Variable stator vanes, compressor bleeds, multiple spool compressors, and active clearance area. By their own definitions and words, you can understand what they mean. But one by one, I'll give you the example and I'll explain you what they are. This is your variable inlet guide vane. What is the variable part here? You can change the angle of the inlet guide vanes. What is the role of this? So if you're able to guide the airflow properly, at high angle of attack, you can reduce them. Okay, you can allow more airflow inside. When you don't want more airflow, you can turn these variable inlet key. Okay, of course, the pilot does not do all this. He has a lot to do other than doing this. This is also already a system. Okay, the engine has itself maintained variable inlet guide vanes. These vanes are fitted just in front of the first rotor stage. Okay, important here. This point is important. At low compressor speeds, the VIGVs are angled to impart the greatest amount of swirl, thereby correcting the relative airflow. They're closed at low RPM. Why? When we are at low RPM, more airflow is introduced, and then we have surge. Okay. So you can see both of them operating here. These are the full load operation. Okay. Too much open, too much close. All these things are written here. Okay. All in all, you have to make. You could start to imagine what I showed you in the previous video. Okay. Start to imagine whenever we are having high RPM, we need more airflow inside, right? More combustion is taking place. When we are at low RPM, we can close these so that not much airflow can go inside. Okay. Variable stator vanes. So these are also variable stator vanes. You can see these are variable. So you can change, and you can clearly see it is attached to the outer casing, the stator or stationary vanes. Okay. Variable stator vanes, after the first rotor stage has been successfully negotiated, the airflow may still have problems further down the compressor when the engine is operating. Okay. The vanes can be pivoted automatically so that the compressor speed is reduced from the optimum design value. They are progressively closed to maintain the angle of attack. Okay. So again, the angle of attack plays the role in this, not your aircraft's angle of attack, it's the blades, your stator weights, your rotor. Then we have the bleed air. Okay, the bleed air is simple. If we have a lot of airflow inside, we will simply escape it. Okay.
This keeps the rotation in motion. Most engines also provide the pressurized breathing air or cabin air. This air is let off from the compressor stages within the turbine.
Okay.
It is therefore called fan replacements rotate constantly.
Can someone tell me what can other uses of bleed air be? I'm taking some air from it. Am I wasting this air, or will I be using this air?
Inside the aircraft, I guess.
Inside the aircraft only. Where will I use it?
Air conditioning.
Good. Yeah. So as you can see in the videos these days also, people are trying to tell you that the air in the cabin and your cockpit keeps on circulating and freshening up, okay, refreshing every time in 20 seconds, or because it's the same reason. Okay, when we are introduced inside this and we are taking some air, this is fresh air, it is cold, it is fresh. Okay, so we just direct it into the cabin over here. We have filters inside, we have many things also, so the bleed air is used in such. And what is the role in this? See, if a lot of airflow has been come, okay, compressor is not moving properly, what will happen is we will direct some airflow inside so that the compressor starts to circulate as it wants. All right, and the stall does not occur. When the engine slows down, stall might occur. If a compressor bleed valve is introduced, okay, into the intermediate stages, that means that in the middle stages, it can be opened at low RPM. Okay, allows some of the excessive volume of air to escape. This will have the effect of increasing the velocity of the air in the earlier stages, reducing the choking effects. Okay, stall is like a choking effect of the compressor, right? That is the thing which will be avoiding. The disadvantage of the system is one, okay, is that the opening compressor bleeds, whether they are stall preventive measures or bleeds. What does it do? We are decreasing the overall mass. When we are reducing the overall mass, force is equal to mass into acceleration. If we reduce the mass, the thrust reduces. That is the major disadvantage. But of course, the pilot has one option, either to save the engine at the moment or to maintain the thrust. He or she will probably choose to save the engine and he will open the bleed air. This will cause a drop in the thrust for a given throttle position, which raises the specific fuel consumption or SFC. Also raises the EGT because of the drop in the amount of cooling air available. So we're having these reasons, but we know for sure that engine is about to stall. So we will do the necessity. Of course, it's also automatic. Okay, bleed air it keeps on working. But of course, the pilots also have a special control in the cockpit. You can use it for external, or if you want to increase it. You can see the APU, okay, cross feed and the crowd starting plug. They feed into the engine. So if you remember, someone asked me, or I also asked you, how do we start the engine if the compressor is the first part we spin? So I'm giving a hint right now. Okay, these are the things we can use to initially spin the compressor. Then we have the multi-spool compressor. I think I've already told you what this is, right? So if you have multiple number of spools, that is different spools, then what happens is we have a gap, or simply we have this already a little less, this more. So what will happen is one of the compressor works with high pressure, the second one works with the low pressure. So the workload is distributed among all these compressors. Only one of the compressor does not have too much workload. Just like the cockpit, the workload has been shared by two pilots. The compressor also shares the workload. Okay. Sections, each section being driven through a shaft. The whole unit compressor is known as spool. I've already explained spool. By designing the engine so that upon closing the throttle, the speed of the low pressure spool falls more rapidly than the high speed. Of course, we can see with this picture also, there are two shafts, two spools. So according to the throttle and the pilot's control, these will also move. That will also rotate. Okay, then we finally have these. What are these? Active clearance area. Active clearance area can be seen here also. Okay, what is this? Basically, we are allowing some portion. This portion, this is known as clearance area. Okay, the small gap, you might not be able to see much, but there's a small gap between the casing also. Okay, you can see there's a small gap here. What is this gap used for? The axial velocity can be controlled over the whole of the engine speed range. Chances of a stall and surge happening are less or diminished. Okay, so the airflow at least stopping here, there is some point it can go here and there. Okay, here also you can see there's a small point it can go over the top. Okay, when will this happen? You need to understand this clearly when the temperature is less. Okay, the compressors are not moving properly, so low RPM pe kya hoga? At low RPM we are having temperatures less, so we can assume that these will not be expanding, and they're not expanding or they're not rotating. We have the space, that is the clearance area. When we have the clearance area, the air the air will move like this. By cooling the compressor casing, we can cause it to shrink, and mostly done by the bypass air. Okay, I've already told you, whenever the engine is cool, we will have the active clearance control. And whenever we have in the active clearance low, then we will have less chances of stall. That ends the chapter. Do we have any questions?